What's happening, guys? Welcome back. On this segment, we're going to talk about the greatest movie sequels of all time. Now, it's super difficult to capture the magic of a first film if it's amazing. Sometimes it's like lightning in a bottle. But some movies actually capture the magic and miraculously surpass the original. There are two films that come to mind that fit that criteria. I mean, it's debatable. This is all opinion, very subjective. But let me start by naming one of the greatest, if not the greatest, movie sequel of all time. Come on, you know the movie. You know the movie, guys. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, of course, is the sequel to 1984's Terminator by James Cameron. And the reason that the sequel was so awesome is that the sequel is by James Cameron. I mean, who better to bring back the feel of the original movie? Just ramped up, boosted. Who better than the original director and writer? I feel like when you have sequels, they should be, if possible, done by the original director or writer. Terminator 2 was everything that Terminator 1 was, just times 2. More action, better special effects, I think better acting. In some respects, they're different movies. In some respects. So it's unfair to make like a direct comparison. But I do believe that Terminator 2 trumps Terminator 1. Terminator 1 is an amazing movie. I believe it's groundbreaking. I think the premise is genius. To me, Terminator 1 had kind of like a sci-fi horror drama aspect. Terminator 2 was more of like sci-fi action. It was definitely designed, in my opinion, tailor-made to be a blockbuster. And that's exactly what it was. Terminator 2 was a very unique movie experience. I'm glad that I actually got to see it in the theater as a kid. And I was just completely blown away. There's few movies that have had that effect on me. Terminator 2 is one of them. James Cameron's Aliens is another. Jurassic Park, The Matrix. The first Avatar was pretty special, visually. But yeah, man, Terminator 2 might be the greatest sequel of all time. Which brings me to my next film on the list of greatest sequels of all time. I just mentioned it, Aliens. Once again, the great James Cameron. Except this time, the original film was by Ridley Scott. And these are 100% two different movies. 1979 Alien by Ridley Scott is a sci-fi horror masterpiece. It's a slow burn. There's a lot of build-up. There's suspense. There's some mystery in it. Just a masterpiece film and super significant in the sci-fi genre. Aliens is also a masterpiece in a different way. Aliens is a badass sci-fi action horror film. Besides Terminator 2, is there a better sequel than Aliens? I got to see this in the theater. I was terrified. There is parallels in the Aliens movie with Vietnam. How the United States were battling the Viet Cong soldiers. And they were very low tech, but they had great numbers and resilience. And we were getting our butt kicked. Same thing with the movie Aliens. You had a very low-tech enemy versus the high-tech space marines, and they were getting their butt whooped because the aliens were relentless. They had numbers. When an enemy has numbers, it's a very difficult threat to deal with. You can get overwhelmed. But back to the movie in general, Aliens was a mixture of like badass action, great one-liners, fun acting, awesome story and script, sick, intense action sequences. It was legitimately scary. Aliens is like in my top 10 of all time. Same thing with Terminator 2. I think the film is a freaking masterpiece. So, I mean, for the most part, I think those are the two greatest sequels of all time. I have another one for you. Completely different genre, The Godfather Part 2. Arguably, Part 2 is better than the first Godfather. Robert De Niro absolutely killed it in his role as a young Vito Corleone. Just an amazing movie. And with being how difficult it is to capture the magic of a first great movie, for Godfather 2 to be as good as it is, incredible. That's another great sequel right there. I'm going to drop some honorable mentions for some fun, good sequels. The first Indiana Jones trilogy, not the Crystal Skulls one, no, but Indiana Jones 2 and 3, which number 2 being Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the third being Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Those are classics, man. Those are super solid sequels that certainly live up to the first film. After that, they jumped the rails. Another honorable mention, not as great as the first one, but they still were kind of fun. The Back to the Future sequels, 2 and 3. I enjoyed those. I thought they were fun sequels. This one really shouldn't be on this list, but I think it's kind of underrated. It was fun. I mean, it was nowhere near as good as the first film, but it had aspects that kind of captured the magic of the first film, but really dropped the ball. And I don't think it's Peter Weller's fault, but RoboCop 2. RoboCop 2 had potential, but it got super campy and cheesy. The Kane villain robot, he was badass. But the movie suffered from special effects. I mean, they had stop motion animation. Too bad they didn't have advanced CGI effects like they do today. But in a weird way, the stop motion kind of worked for the robotic scenes. So yeah, again, they screwed up with RoboCop 2. But it had some similarities to the original. They tried. I still enjoy it when I watch it. Mostly because of Peter Weller. Trying to think, what's another good sequel? I think Hellraiser 2 was pretty good within that genre and film franchise. Some people like Hellraiser 2 over the first one. I can see why. I was just kind of winging this video, speaking off the cuff. Maybe I'll come back to it, do a part 2. But you guys let me know in the comment section. What do you think are the greatest sequels of all time? Maybe these sequels were way better than the crappy original. Maybe they captured the same magic of a great original. Maybe you personally found them fun. Either way, I'm going to read your picks. Thanks for watching this segment, guys. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Until then, take care.